I'm Elisa Parker. This is the Wild and Scenic Film Fest. It is one of the largest environmental film festivals in the United States, and we're based right here in Nevada City, California, and also Grass Valley, California, in the base of the Sierras. And we also have a tour as well, so if you're watching this from somewhere else other than Northern California, we might be coming to a city near you with some of our key films. It really is around everyday action heroes coming together. And I'm excited to have Adrienne Hall with us. The film is called The Discarded. You probably remember during the 2016 Olympics down in Brazil, there was a lot of controversy about the money that was invested, the infrastructure that wasn't happening, the pollution, for example, and then, of course, how that had an impact on the community at large. And Adrienne, in the film The Discarded, talks a bit about that. And why don't you give us a little more synopsis of the film, Adrienne? And first, welcome and thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're so happy to be able to screen our film. Thank you to Circle and the Wild and Scenic Film Fest for having us. But our film, The Discarded, it came out in August 2016, just around the time that the Olympics were happening in Rio. And really what the film does is shine a light on the pollution crisis happening there. Not many people know that the bay, about 70% of the raw sewage from Rio is dumped into Guanabara Bay untreated. 49 of the 55 rivers that flow into Guanabara Bay are biologically dead. It's a really big issue, and the Olympic Committee, the city of Rio, the government had a great opportunity when everyone was looking at Rio. What were they going to do? Were they going to clean this up? To do something, and they didn't. They didn't step up. But locals and grassroots activists really have continued to fight and are committed to changing this for the future of Rio. So,
can you tell us about the importance of the bay on Rio and the people that live there? I mean, people swim in this.
Yes,
don't they?
No, they do, and it's the locals. It's embarrassing for them. A lot of people even in Brazil don't know the severity of what's happening in Rio with their bay. But yes, people swim in it. You hear stories of dead animals floating in the bay and like hypoxic zones just because of how bad the pollution is. It doesn't have, the economy isn't being supported by the bay, so there's no, healthy fisheries, things are not sustained there right now.
What was your motivation in the first place to go to cover this story and do the film?
Yeah, it's a great question. And my business partner, Annie Costner, we run an organization called Sound Off Films. Prior to us beginning Sound Off, she was working with her family on clean water solutions in Rio and was working with Petrobras. And she went down there and saw firsthand how bad this situation was and met some children with an organization called Proyecto Grael. And what this organization does is takes kids from the favelas, teaches them the trade craft with sailing. So they learn to build sailboats, and then they get to take them out on the bay, and through that they've become inspired to protect the bay. And she met some of the coolest kids who are doing this work and who are really concerned about the future of this bay for not only themselves but their children. And just hearing like the wisdom of kids in that regard was so cool for her. That we decided to make a film about it. So we worked with Plastic Pollution Coalition, Deanna Cohen, and Sailors for the Sea out of Massachusetts to craft this thing up. But it came from her work on the ground there with Petrobras.
Had you been to Brazil before?
No, I hadn't, and what an amazing and beautiful country it is. And it's just such a pity that you see the Christ the Redeemer and you see Sugarloaf Mountain, and nobody knows that this like pristine looking place is going through this moment right now.
Right. Mm-hmm. How, just in the experience of being there and creating this film, how has that influenced your personal life now?
That's a great question. I don't actually even know totally, but I think what's so inspiring about what Brazil is doing is they don't have the support of the government in the way that our places do. They can't really impact policy change. So seeing what individuals are doing to really make a difference has been the most inspiring thing to me. Just knowing that the zero waste movement is really taking off in Brazil, and it starts with each individual. It's not and then it's working its way up in Brazil. And we often wait for things to happen the other way. And so I think that has really inspired me.
That's cool. The theme this year is groundswell, right? And so it has different meanings, it seems like, for everyone I'm talking to about this, but just that surge coming together. What has Groundswell, what does that mean to you on a personal level, and especially given this year because it's been so wild?
Yeah, no, that's great. I think anyone doing this work knows that it takes a village, and even insofar as creating a film, it takes so many people coming together to spread the messages that we're trying to share. So for me, it's really about community, and it's standing up and telling these stories the best way that we can.
Right. What would you want to tell everyone about why it's so important to come to a festival like Wild and Scenic?
Well, first of all, this town is so cool.
It's a pretty cool town.
I'm from Southern California, and I'd never been up this way before. So first of all, Nevada City, come. And then there's just so many inspiring people here who are really investing such great amount of time into trying to make the world a better place. So you just leave here feeling inspired and excited to continue doing the work that we do.
Great. You know, Wild and Scenic is based on action. It's based on solutions. What do you want us to know, you know, as far as this film, The Discarded, what are some things that we can do from our own homes, from our own communities, as far as that awareness, and is there a website too?
Yes. Well, check out our website, Sound Off Films, and also Plastic Pollution Coalition. They're doing great work globally. But I think the big message is just reconsidering our consumption, how we consume. Do we need single-use plastics? No, in most cases. So it's just being more thoughtful in your everyday is really what we hope to inspire with this film, and not pointing the finger at Rio or Brazil, because this is happening everywhere.
It happens everywhere. It's probably happening in your very own backyard. I know I just learned yesterday that we use 500 million straws a day.
Yeah.
Plastic straws.
Stop,
right? Nothing is insignificant. Everything has significance, as we're discovering. And thank you so much for being here, Adrienne, and for sharing your film.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and being part of the Wild and Scenic Film Fest. I'm Elisa Parker. The film is called The Discarded, and check it out. It is Wild and Scenic. And we are, and everyone has so many ways to get wild into action, and making a positive difference in our world. And that's a big part of this festival. And we'll be right back.